We are going to take a look at doing a backup save of your project. It is extremely important that you do regular backup saves, whether it be once a day, before and after you load your project. Just be in the habit of this and start learning this habit as early as you can in your project. You want this backup save outside of the OneDrive. Primarily, you want your whole project outside of the OneDrive. And you can see here, you know if your project is in the OneDrive based on its directory. So this causes problems later on publishing. Some people's projects that I've heard of have gotten locked because of the OneDrive. So that is a whole separate issue. It would be a whole separate video I will try to do at some point in the near future. And I will try to link it in this when I do that. But the key thing here is that your project folder is probably here or wherever you moved it to. So when I reference a project folder, it is going to be where your actual project is saved. My project folder is this. So when I say project folder, I am talking about the main project area. All right. You are going to have a backup folder. And this is my backup folder. In the backup folder, you want this to be saved preferably on a separate hard drive, or storage device, SSD, hard drive, whatever it is, external device. You want this saved on a separate storage device than what your main project is on. I have an external drive that I save my project to once every, we'll just say once a week. My routine saves are on the drive itself, the internal D drive. Try to get a external if you can. Depends on how much you want to keep your project. I've heard that there was one person that was working on the project for a year. They had a storage device issue or corruption, and the best I understand, they actually completely lost the project. So be in the habit of this. It's great for if your project gets corrupted, if you do something that you just didn't like, or whatever the reason is, you want a backup save. So this is how you do it. You are going to go into your project folder. Again, this is mine. You are going to choose your project and make sure it's not open like mine is. Not a big deal for me right now, but you want to make sure it is closed. So I'm going to recopy it because it may have changed some of the files. And then you're going to go into your backup folder. In your backup folder, you're going to paste it. And you can either right-click, paste, copy and paste, or do the shortcut keyboards like I am. You'll want to rename it. So you can click on it again, or you can do F2, however you want to rename it. It is very important that you rename this. If you do not rename it, you will cause some issues making additional backup saves. So I like to do the day, the time, and why I am making a backup save. So in this example, I'm going to be adding a UAZ. So before add in second UAZ. And that just made you a backup save. Now, how you would go back to a backup save, right? So let's just say we opened up our map. We've done some stuff that we don't like, and we want to revert to a backup save. You're going to take your backup save. You're going to copy it. So Control C. I hit the button a few times. It's just a bad habit I have. Go into your project folder. You're going to rename your original project before, no, I don't want to make the names too similar. So we'll see backup for test and backup save. All right. We are going to paste the other backup file that we have, because this is what we want to go to. We want to go to, before adding the second UAZ backup save, and you have to match the original project folder name. If you do not match the original project folder name, the Workbench will not know where to find that at. So it'll look like your project disappeared. So just make sure that you have the folder names match. So now you can reopen the Workbench, and you can go to essentially reverting back to that backup save. You can keep doing different backup saves. You just have to make sure you're renaming this again. So if you want to test this on your own and you feel confident, you feel comfortable, you can stop the video here. I am going to cut into a different section of the video here in a second, and I am going to show you what the example is that I have for doing the backup saves and reverting to a backup save. So give me 1 second. So in our test here, we are going to load up the Workbench. And here we have a singular UAZ. So I'm just going to copy it, duplicate it. We're going to save. So we have two UAZs in the world. Save. I am simply relaunching only to show you that it did save, just to prove that this worked. So you don't need to be doing this. So it saved 2 UAZs. Let it completely close out and let it finish closing everything. So here is our project folder. We're going to go into our backup folder. We're going to paste. Very important you rename it. So we have our original backup save and the one we just made. Again, if you do not rename it, if you did not rename this first one, when we tried to do the second one, it will take a very, very long time. Rename your folder. You could actually potentially corrupt your save in the backup saves folder, not your primary one, but your backup saves, corrupt them by trying to overwrite files. So rename this. So we just renamed our second backup save after adding the second UAZ. We're going to go and copy this backup save because this is what we want to revert to. We do not like the second UAZ. It changed our world too much. It made it unplayable. God forbid we have 2 UAZs. All right. So we're going to revert back, go back to our project folder. We have to rename this folder. Same idea. If you try to overwrite this, you could corrupt your save, and it'll also take a very long time to do it. The whole point of this is to have backups that we can revert back to. So we're BU regretted second UAZ. We do not have a folder named just this name anymore, so we can comfortably copy and paste that initial backup over, and we can rename it the original project name. It's very important you do that here because the Workbench will not find the project properly. So now that we've renamed it back, we're going to launch the Workbench. We're going to open it. And there we go. We are back to 1 UAZ. So I'm going to talk a little bit more. You can stop here. If you continue to watch, you can stop here. I cannot stress enough, it is very important that you do this on a regular basis. If you are going to do something that you don't know that it's going to work or not, you're not comfortable with it, get a backup save first. There is a lot of times I'm about to modify an area a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, so I'll just make a backup save. The key thing is renaming your backup saves to something different, like I do, like you see how I do. And when you load the project back into the project folder, it has to be named the original project name. I do not know what issues could come of this. I personally have not had any issues. Again, and I do this on a regular basis. I have tested publishing to the Workbench with this method. Me and a friend of mine are starting to share the project on GitHub desktop. We have had a couple issues with that, but it's not related to doing backup saves. It's a whole different issue. As far as the OneDrive folder, I'm going to try to make a video of that here in the near future, and I will link that when I do. I do believe that covers everything I needed to cover in this. I cannot stress enough, make your backup saves. I lost or almost lost a separate project earlier today, which is what prompted me to make this. So hopefully no one else has that issue. Essentially, it's a project that I use basic vanilla prefabs to make other objects, such as taking a picnic table and adding some items to it for my main project. And that folder disappeared for other reasons that I have since figured out. But kind of panicked for a minute because my last backup save was like a month or two old. And I didn't do a lot in the last couple months in that project, but I would have lost some of the stuff that I liked and that I've been using. So I've regretted, and I've since fixed my habit with that particular project. So be in the habit. As you can see in, where is it at? My backup folders. Some of the time, there's days where, I worked on it throughout the day on the 23rd, and I made 4 backups. And I was redoing train tracks. So I named it Happy with the Train Tracks, working on the train cargo area. There was a time where I think I even named it I Don't Know If I Like the Train Tracks. So name is what you want. Be creative to help you remember what they were. And I would even recommend, if you think you're having an issue with something, get a backup save. Get regular routine backup saves. All right. So I'm rambling. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.